Virgo, August 27th is not just another day on the calendar. Something ancient stirs in the unseen. A pulse, a gate, a whisper meant only for those attuned to the deeper frequencies. You've felt it already. The strange weight in the air, the sudden flashes of clarity, the tension just beneath the surface. It's not coincidence. It's calling. You're not imagining the pull. If you're reading this, you've already been marked by the shift. This isn't for everyone. It never is. Only the ones who've walked quietly, who've endured silently, and who've refused to collapse under the pressure of invisibility will even feel the magnitude of this hour. Virgo, you are among them. This is a cosmic test, a brief but potent window that opens on August 27th. For some, it will bring miracles, alignment, clarity, breakthrough. For others, karmic traps will tighten, repeating patterns will resurface, and confusion will cloud the path. The difference? Awareness, action, ritual. 3 karmic traps are rising, not to punish, but to test. They come dressed in familiar forms: recognition, guilt, control. You'll recognize them not by how they look, but by how they feel. And if you ignore them, they'll loop, again and again, until you choose differently. But this isn't a warning. It's an invitation to rise, to anchor, to choose. Today, we'll break each trap down. We'll decode the hidden signs. We'll show you how to respond, not from fear, but from power. And at the end, you'll receive a decree that locks in your new frequency and aligns your next chapter. Stay with this message, not for curiosity, but for alignment. Because every word is a mirror, every phrase is a door, and every breath you take while reading this shifts your field. This moment is sacred. Virgo, this is your signal. What's coming isn't random. It's precise, divine, and timed. You've prepared for this in dreams you forgot, in prayers you whispered, in actions no one saw. And now, something higher is responding. What happens next depends entirely on your awareness. So listen, feel, and trust that if this message found you, it's because you're ready. You haven't been sleeping on your purpose. You've been preparing for it in silence. Virgo, your journey has not been loud or flashy. It's been sacred, internal, and often unseen. While others chased applause, you chased alignment. While the world looked elsewhere, you stayed grounded, refining your soul's details, trusting that the invisible would one day speak louder than the visible. There were days you questioned why you kept going, when recognition didn't come, when support was scarce, when your devotion felt like a one-way street into emptiness. But what you didn't know was that the silence wasn't punishment. It was calibration. The universe wasn't ignoring you. It was watching, recording, aligning. The truth is, you've already passed 100 tests no one else saw. You said no when it cost you. You showed up without praise. You healed patterns you didn't create. And every time you honored your intuition instead of your ego, something in the cosmos shifted. The pain you endured wasn't for nothing. It was ancestral, generational, karmic. And your endurance has broken timelines. This test now, this portal on August 27th, is not a beginning. It's an unveiling. What's surfacing is a karmic echo, returning only to see if you'll respond from your old frequency or your evolved one. You don't have to earn this moment. You've already earned it. This is your mirror now. And Virgo, your gift is precision. You don't just see what others miss, you feel it. You read energies like pages. You calculate intentions behind words. This is why the test is tailored for you. These karmic traps won't come as obvious disruptions. They'll come as almost rights, half yeses. Situations that require discernment, not reaction. Remember, what looks like delay is often protection. What feels like a detour is sometimes an initiation. You're not late. You're on divine time. And now, the gate opens, not to test your worth, but to confirm it. let's go deeper. Not into fear, but into clarity. Because once you see the trap, it loses its power. And once you reclaim your choice, the karmic loop breaks for good. This isn't just another energetic shift, it's architecture. What you're feeling is a divine mechanism, not a mood swing. Spiritually, Virgo is being positioned at the crossroads of detail and destiny. The patterns surfacing around August 27th aren't random. They've been orchestrated by forces beyond logic. You're not being tested because you're weak. You're being tested because you're ready to carry more. There is an energetic engineering behind this moment. A spiritual trine activating Virgo's 10th house, the space of mission and legacy. In simple terms, it means doors are aligning, but only for those standing in truth. The traps you'll face now are echoes of the past. They'll wear familiar faces, speak in familiar tones. That's why they're dangerous. That's why they're sacred. Karmic traps don't always look like chaos. Sometimes they feel like comfort. They invite you into old roles, old dynamics, old versions of yourself. They seduce you with almost. But almost is a frequency that keeps miracles locked. And Virgo, this portal is a mirror. If you stay in the old story, the loop continues. But if you choose from your healed identity, the loop ends. Right now, the earth element is grounding these energies through Virgo. That means it's not about abstract intuition. It's about embodied wisdom. You'll feel the truth in your gut, your breath, your bones. Don't wait for clarity to arrive through signs. You are the sign. If your body tightens, if your energy drains, that's all the confirmation you need. In the lead up to this, you may have noticed symptoms. Vivid dreams that linger, moments of déjà vu, heavy emotional tides, or even seeing repeating numbers like 111 or 777. These aren't random. They're signals from your higher self, prepping you. Don't panic. Just pay attention. What's important now is not reacting, but witnessing. The traps are coming, but so are the tools. You'll know them by the shift they demand. And the more you see the game, the less you're caught in it. You're not here to avoid the pattern. You're here to dissolve it. Now, let's decode the first karmic trap, because awareness is your freedom. The first karmic trap arriving in this window is called false recognition. It's seductive. It flatters your ego, strokes your need to be seen, and pretends to validate your worth. But behind the shiny surface is an energetic cost you cannot afford. Virgo. This trap is designed to look like a breakthrough, but it's actually a detour. It might come as a compliment that makes you question your values. A job offer that looks impressive but demands your soul. A relationship that suddenly resurfaces, praising your growth but still pulling you into the old pattern. You'll feel tempted to accept, to say yes, to prove something. That's how the loop begins. Symptoms are subtle. Overcommitting when you're already stretched. Saying yes when your body says no. Shifting your language to sound more palatable. Ignoring your intuition because the opportunity looks too good. That's not alignment. It's distortion. It's packaging without substance. Picture this. A Virgo being offered a promotion after years of being overlooked. The salary is double. The prestige is high. But deep down, they know the role erases their purpose, silences their values, and demands burnout. It looks like validation, but it's just a shiny cage. Saying no wasn't easy, but it was the pivot that led to a real calling months later. The mistake most make here is equating attention with alignment. Just because you're being noticed doesn't mean you're being honored. You are not here to be consumed. You're here to contribute from truth. And real recognition doesn't ask you to shrink, twist, or perform. If this trap shows up, do two things immediately. Pause and ask, does this build my legacy or drain it? Write it out if you need to. Virgo, your clarity lives in your questions. Say this aloud. Not all light is truth. Let that become your filter. This trap will pass when you refuse to perform for praise. When you say yes to soul, not noise. When you remember that alignment feels like peace, not pressure. The next trap is more personal. more ancient. It doesn't flatter your ego, it guilts your heart. Let's walk into it together. The second karmic trap is subtle but heavy. It's called old guilt in new clothes. It arrives not with noise but with a whisper, a familiar shame, a hidden sense of debt, a quiet voice that says, "You owe them." Virgo. This one doesn't look like a trap at first. It looks like compassion, responsibility, or even love. But what it really does is bind your power to your past. It may appear as a text from someone you've already outgrown, an invitation to revisit something you've healed, a situation that feels urgent but is secretly manipulating your empathy. You'll feel it as a pull toward obligation, not inspiration. That's how you'll know. Symptoms include saying yes when you mean no, feeling tired before you even respond, replaying conversations in your head, justifying actions that hurt you, feeling like you're abandoning someone by choosing yourself. These aren't signs of growth. They're signs of an open loop you're not meant to re-enter. Picture this: a Virgo reconnecting with an old friend who once drained them. The friend says, "I miss the old times. We were like family." And the guilt begins. But the old times were built on self-sacrifice, on emotional labor that was never reciprocated. And now, that same pattern is repackaged as nostalgia. The common error is thinking you must revisit the wound to prove you've healed. You don't. True healing means choosing a different response when the test returns. You don't have to explain your peace. You just have to protect it. If this trap surfaces, take 2 grounding steps. First, come back to the present moment. Feel your body. Breathe deeply. Second, name the loop out loud. This is an old pattern in a new form. Just naming it breaks half its spell. Say this aloud: "I choose peace over penance." Let it echo. This trap dissolves when you stop trying to pay spiritual debts that were never yours to begin with. When you stop mistaking your growth for guilt. When you let the past stay behind you, even if it knocks again with a different voice. But the most deceptive trap is still ahead. The one that disguises itself as power, control, perfection. Let's go there now. The third karmic trap is the most deceptive because it looks like strength. It's called the illusion of control. Virgo, this one is wired into your nervous system. It tells you that if you plan well enough, fix fast enough, and anticipate deeply enough, you can stay safe. But the truth is, this illusion keeps you in a loop of exhaustion, not empowerment. It shows up as overthinking every outcome, creating 10 backup plans when one would do, feeling like if you just try harder, you can prevent disappointment. It's the need to micromanage spirit, to force clarity, to earn safety by never making a mistake. But that's not divine intelligence. That's fear in disguise. Symptoms include insomnia, overworking, mental clutter, and anxiety masked as productivity. You might feel like you're getting ahead, but you're really running in place. Nothing lands, nothing rests. And beneath it all is a core belief. If I don't control it, I'll lose it. That belief is the trap. Imagine a Virgo trying to launch a new chapter, new job, new relationship, new purpose. But instead of flowing, they build an airtight plan with no room for change. They obsess over timing, results, reactions. And when it doesn't unfold perfectly, they spiral. Not because the path is wrong, but because the control was never real to begin with. The common mistake here is equating control with safety. But Virgo, true safety is found in surrender, not chaos, not inaction, but aligned release. You are not meant to manage the entire path. You're meant to walk it with trust, to adjust, not to obsess, to respond, not to predict. When this trap arises, take 2 steps. First, pause and breathe deeply into your belly. Feel your body. Second, hand one outcome, just one, over to source. Say, "I trust this is handled," and leave it there. Say this aloud: "I allow flow to find me." Say it again. Let it override the old programming. This trap ends the moment you remember that alignment doesn't need control, it needs presence. And Virgo, when you release the grip, the real help arrives. Now, let's enter a real-life shift, a story that proves this isn't theory, it's lived transformation. It began quietly, as these things often do. She was a Virgo in burnout, precise, efficient, always there for everyone but herself. She had done the healing work, or so she thought. Still, something felt misaligned. Her days were full, but her soul was flat. There was no spark, only strategy. Until the signs began to show up. First came the dream. Vivid, strange, and impossible to shake. She stood at a crossroads, holding a glowing object in one hand and a heavy rope in the other. A voice whispered, "You must drop one to move forward." Then came the number 111, flashing on receipts, clocks, license plates. And finally, a stranger in a cafe looked her in the eye and said, "You don't owe the past anything. You owe yourself a future." She knew then, something deeper was calling. The karmic traps were not abstract. They were alive in her life, in the people-pleasing, the overgiving, the need to get it perfect. She was living all three traps, chasing recognition, guilt-bound decisions, and the illusion of control. That night, she sat down with pen and paper. She made a list titled Emotional Debts, everything she still felt responsible for that wasn't hers to carry. Old promises, outdated roles, guilt-motivated habits. She wrote until her hand shook. Then, with intention and a deep breath, she burned the list safely by the window, repeating a simple phrase. "I release what no longer serves my soul path." Something shifted. Not loud, not cinematic, but real. The next morning, she felt peace for the first time in months. 2 days later, she got an email, an opportunity aligned with her heart, not just her skills. It required presence, not perfection. It didn't flatter her ego. It mirrored her evolution. This is what happens when Virgo honors the soul over the story. When the signs are followed, not just noticed. When the release is sincere, not performative. Spirit meets you where you are, but only when you show up honest. The shift wasn't magic. It was alignment. And now, you'll have a chance to create your own. This next part is the how, the ritual designed for your energy, your moment, your freedom. Let's begin. This ritual isn't complicated. It's precise. Just like you, Virgo. It's designed to match your nature. Thoughtful, grounded, intentional. What matters here is not the form, it's the frequency. And you'll shift that not by doing more, but by aligning deeper. This is where your transformation becomes embodied. Start with clarity. Write down one sentence that captures your true intention. Not what you think you should want, but what your soul craves. Be honest. Let it be simple. Then, breathe deeply. Place your hand over your heart and read your intention aloud. Slowly. 3 times. Now, activate the energy. Feel what it would be like if this intention were already real. Not hope. Certainty. Picture it. Smile. Let gratitude rise. Let your cells remember that this is possible. You are not begging. You are embodying. Take one small action today aligned with that version of you. Send the email. Rest without guilt. Say no clearly. Declutter something. The action doesn't have to be big. It just has to be true. This step is where manifestation becomes magnetic. Then, release. This is the part you often resist, handing it over. After your action, step back. Say out loud, "I trust this is now unfolding." Burn the paper, blow out the candle, open the window, walk away. Let the universe work. If you want to amplify this, do it under the moonlight, especially if the moon is in an earth sign. Light incense. Sit by an open window. Speak your release into the night. Virgo, the moon honors ritual done with sincerity, not spectacle. For protection, close with breath. Try the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Do it 3 times. Add a salt bath or incense if needed. Say a closing affirmation. I am safe in surrender. I am held in trust. This isn't about forcing the outcome. It's about becoming the person who receives it. That version of you already exists. This ritual simply syncs your present self to it. Don't rush. Let it land. Now, how will you know it's working? You will start to see the signs. And when they come, your only job is to say yes. Let's explore what those signs look like next. The signs won't always arrive like lightning. Sometimes they whisper. Sometimes they simply feel like peace. But when you're in alignment, Virgo, the confirmations will find you. You'll sense a shift, not outside, but within. That sudden breath of calm, the tingling when you speak your truth, the moment something you were chasing begins to come to you instead. One of the clearest confirmations is the presence of repeating numbers. 222 for alignment, 777 for spiritual luck, or 111 as a signal that your thoughts are syncing with manifestation. These aren't guarantees, they're nudges. Winks from the universe saying, you're close, keep going. You may also feel a sudden lightness, a quiet moment where everything feels still, yet full. A conversation that unexpectedly affirms your next move. A dream that carries clarity you couldn't reach with logic. These are your soul's way of saying, yes, you've realigned. But what if nothing happens right away? That's okay. Sometimes the energy needs space. If you feel nothing, give it 48 hours. Rest, hydrate, stay open. Often, the biggest confirmations arrive after the ego lets go of the need for proof. To maintain this alignment, choose one daily ritual. It doesn't need to be elaborate. It could be a deep breath each morning with the phrase, I choose alignment, or placing your hands over water before drinking, infusing it with a silent intention, or lighting a small candle and simply sitting with your thoughts. The key is consistency. Devotion, not duration. In this delicate window, avoid certain things. Oversharing online dilutes your frequency. Impulsive spending disrupts clarity. Emotional spirals pull you back into loops. For 24 to 48 hours after the ritual, protect your field. Let what you called in find you without interference. If you've been moved by this, comment below with the phrase, I received the signs. It's not just a digital response, it's an energetic agreement. A signal that you've heard the call and you're saying yes. You've done the work, you've seen the traps, you've shifted your response. Now it's time to seal it. One final decree to lock in the breakthrough. Let's finish this together. You were never meant to blend in. Virgo, you're not here to fix the broken pieces of others while abandoning your own wholeness. You are not just a sign of service, you are a force of frequency. What you carry is not light and order alone. You carry codes, precision, healing through clarity. And now, the cycle closes. This portal, August 27th, was never about fear. It was about remembrance, a cosmic test disguised as everyday moments, choices, temptations. The traps were never punishments. They were invitations to finally choose from your healed self, not your survival self. And you did. You saw the flattery and chose substance. You saw the guilt and chose boundaries. You felt the urge to control and chose surrender. That's evolution. That's alignment. That's the Virgo mastery. Now, let's seal it. Say this aloud, slowly and clearly. I release karmic loops and claim alignment. Again, let it vibrate from your throat into your field. Let it echo through your decisions. This is your new baseline. This is your declaration. Comment it below if you feel led. I see the signs. When you do, it isn't just a phrase. It's a public portal. You're anchoring the frequency into your timeline. You're becoming the proof. And remember, the next message may arrive just in time. Don't dismiss what feels small. Spirit doesn't always knock loud. Sometimes it arrives in the moment you least expect, disguised as a soft yes, a missed call, a sudden knowing. Stay tuned. Stay open. Close your eyes for a second and picture it. A doorway made of golden light. You, standing before it. You're not waiting for permission. You're not hoping for signs. You are the sign now. And as you walk through, you don't carry baggage. You carry codes. The test has passed. The seal is active. The path ahead is clear. You've realigned not just your choices, but your soul's trajectory. Welcome to your next chapter. Virgo, it's already begun.